Okay, let's see if I can even get all these books in the shot. I'm on tippy toes, but yes, these are all the books I'm going to talk about. I have some ebooks, some audiobooks, etc. that I can't show, web comics, but these are all the physical copies of the books I'm going to talk about for the mid-year book freakout tag. My name is Olivia and welcome back to my realm. So today is July 2nd. I'm filming this at 6:15, so it is technically the middle of the year. Now, most people do this tag that I'm about to do, the mid-year book freakout tag, before July 2nd, just for tradition's sake. And also, if they do it July 2nd, which is technically the middle of the year, they pre-record it. We all know my history on this channel, unless you're not royalty, you're not subscribed. If you are a distinguished guest, please subscribe, join our realm. We always love more nobles to come. But yeah, you know my track record is absolute garbage when it comes to posting on time. So I just wanted to show proof that I am filming it July 2nd, even if I probably should just say happy 4th of July, Independence Day, Canada Day passed, wherever you are in the world. Protect your freedom, and I hope you are happy. Hear about some books and hear about what I've read this year, what I've enjoyed, what I haven't enjoyed, and yeah, the whole shebang. So this tag is really old. I have been on booktube as like a viewer for, I think, if not a decade, over a decade, and then I attempted booktube, authortube for like a year or two before I restarted my channel here. I literally think I posted 2 or 3 videos max, because that was before shorts, of any bookish content. It was very random. It was like how to use NetGaily, which is like an ARC site and stuff. It was like how-to videos, really. So I do consider this my first official foray into booktube, and I also consider this, well, because it is my first time doing this tag, and I've seen it for so many years, so many amazing booktubers, and I'm so excited to finally do it. So for my knowledge, I think the tag was started by Ellie and Chami, but I think either both of them no longer do YouTube at all, or especially booktube. I think one of them moved into like the makeup influencer space. So I'm not going to tag them because most people don't anymore. This tag is so old. It's even older. It's not older than the booktube newbie tag, I think, but like the booktube newbie tag has like more of a like history, if that makes sense. Like people can track it down easier to its creators. But yeah, that's from my knowledge. Those are the 2 booktubers that started it. But anyway, enough yapping. Let's talk about some books. Well, we're gonna yap some more, but we're gonna yap about books instead of the history of a tag. So because my regular day phone's camera's still messed up, sorry, I'm on my busted, chopped iPhone XS, which I think is about as old as I've been on booktube. So kind of, sorry if you can hear my dog like throwing around a bone right now. But let me give you some statistics on what I've read in general. I'm not going to go into a huge deep dive because I do want to talk about this huge stack of books I have over here. Plus my dinner's about to come, so gotta snap along. But my goal is to read 100 books this year, and I am very excited to say right now, as of July 2nd, 2025, I have read 60 books. Now that includes comics, novellas, etc. But at the end of the day, 60 is still insane when I was in a multi-year book slump, reading slump. So to bounce back from that to 60 books is, wow, I can't actually believe it. So that means I have 40 books left to hit my goal, which I think is very doable because I am taking part in the hardest reading challenge you will ever do. I actually started it early because, long story short, I am going to be on a plane from July 6th till like, late in the evening. It's about a 7-hour flight to go on vacation. And Hercat starts on July 7th. So I figured I would do a 24-hour reading challenge then because that's part of the prompts of this reading challenge. But then I was like, I will start a day early, and starting on July 6th just felt very random to me. So I started the challenge early on July 1st. I just haven't completed any books for it yet. But with all that said, that other side tangent about her cat on the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, I have so many books for the prompts on that thing. Like, it is an absolutely insane challenge. So hitting 40 books by the end of this year would be like, it wouldn't be enough to even get close to finishing the challenge. So stay tuned. My goal may be met way sooner than I thought, and I may end the year closer to 150, 175, but we'll see. I have DNF'd, or I did not finish, 6 books this year, which seems like a very small number compared to how many I've read. That said, I have started and then stopped around 50 some books. Let me check Storygraph. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm on a 151-day reading streak. I am currently reading There Are Things I Can't Tell You, which is a manga for her cat. I have paused 51 books, so that means I started, wow, yeah, now that I think about that, so that means I've started 111 books this year. I am such a mood reader. Let me grab my Kobo real quick just to show off the sticker. Yes, I am a mood reader. Okay, so now doing the math, I think I redid that like 3 or 4 times because I kept messing up the numbers. So I have paused 51 books this year. I have read 60. I have DNF'd 6 books, 2 of which I think I'm going to pick back up, but for now they're DNF, hard DNF. I very rarely ever pick a book back up after I DNF. So for me to want to pick these books back up, that's why I'm like, I think I should give them a try, because I usually hard DNF if I do not finish a book. So in total, I have picked up 117 books this year and completed 60 of them. So yeah, those are the stats. 60 books read out of my 100 book challenge. And the last stat I want to give, I have given 13 books a 5 out of 5 stars. So it's been a really amazing reading year for me. And yeah, I've yapped enough about that. I keep yapping about everything but these dang books in this stack. But my food is here, so I'm going to go get that, get a sip of water, and then we're going to talk about some books. Okay, one of my dogs, like my big hound dog, is like camped out right on my feet. So we'll see how I do this. I'm going to try to get books back on the shelves as I record this, because the last thing I want is for this to last forever. And then I still have to put away all these books. So we're going to try to zoom through. I tried to select one book for every prompt, which was so hard, especially for this first question, best book you've read so far in 2025. It was so difficult because I've given 13 books a 5 out of 5 stars, but I decided that I was going to pick Mating the Troll's Heart, a novelette in the Trollkin Lover series by Lyonne Riley. So I'm going to post a pick up real quick of all the books I have. Yes, I have every book that she's released in the series other than 2 of the novelettes / novellas. In print, signed by her, and I also got to meet her at Monster Erotica Book Con, the very first one in Baltimore, Maryland this year. And I love this author so much. I discovered her in Kobo Plus and went bananas, downloaded all her works. And this Mating the Troll's Heart is actually one of her newsletter books. Like you get 3 of them only if you subscribe to her newsletter, I believe. And this is one of them. And what can I say, as the screensaver comes up, in my bookish girly era, this book, I think the reason why I decided to pick it was because it contains so much I love. It has Kessa, a strong Black woman, as the main heroine, who also has like the soft side that she can't show because of the world. Zaljan, who is this monstrous troll who is super tall and super hot. I'm going to show some of the art of them, which I really hope. Look, one of these books on this list is also a novelette. It's really short, under 100 pages, and that author was able to get it into print. So I am begging Lyonne Riley, get this in print and update it with that art, because it will look so good. Not that this cover isn't banging, but it doesn't match the rest of my illustrated covers, which is why I don't have 2 of the books in the series. And I'm rambling again. But anyway, Kessa and Zaljan are just, they contain so much of what I love in a pairing. It is my ultimate pairing, which is Black woman with a monstrous dude. And it's spicy, but adventurous, fun, short and sweet, because I do love my short reads. A romance at its core, but a high fantasy in its setting, if that makes sense. So I just love everything about it. And I felt like this was very much me as a reader. And so that's why I selected it as the best book I've read so far in 2020. Next up is the best sequel you've read so far in 2025. And if this stack doesn't show you how much of a mood reader I am, I don't know what will. Because jumping over to dystopian, dark, gritty, post-apocalypse, we have Helldivers 2 Ghost by Nicholas Sansbury Smith. So NSS is like a legend in the post-apoc space, like dystopian author space. And I used to be a big reader of it, but it kind of had like undertones, and I won't get into that, that I started getting turned off by. And being a mood reader, jumped to a new genre. I was really into alien romance, for example, for like a year straight. Would read nothing but it, would only read post-apoc, and now I just read a little bit of everything. But what I loved about this, Xavier X, who was the hero of the first book, he was such a unique character, but he wasn't actually my favorite character. And with this second book, which is actually pretty short for the series as well, because the rest of the books are chonkers. I got the first, I think it's 5 books in audio using a Chirp audiobooks deal, and then the other books I found on Libby and Kobo Plus. So I'm listening to them and then slowly collecting the print books. Just everything about this world is like insane. Like the monsters are legitimately scary. The tension is there. People are dying left and right, front, center, up, down. Like he does not care. He is just bam, 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 hitting you in the gut and the heart with all these kills, and also just this emotional conflict of the survivors of basically like a nuclear apocalypse who take to the sky in these helium like fortresses and scavenge the hellish landscape of Earth below. Hence why they're called Helldivers, because they parachute out of these helium balloon airships to Earth. Now the science is wonky, it's crazy, it's B-movie rated, but that's also what adds to its appeal. And yeah, I have cried 3 times reading books this year, and 2 of the times was reading Helldivers, which I don't know what to make of that. Other than Nicholas Sansbury Smith is a great author, I highly recommend, and this is my best sequel so far this year. So that was question 2 in the tag, and questions 3 and 4 kind of go together. So I'm going to start with 3. New release you haven't read yet but want to, and that would be A Vow to Heal by Lionel Hart. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. I got to go back to Jeremy Fraser's amazing pronunciation guide in the audiobooks of the series that this is a spinoff of. That is the Orc Prince trilogy by the same author. This series had me in a freaking chokehold. The 3rd book in the Omnibus, because it is a trilogy, I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. And I did not know that this was ever going to get like a spinoff. This character, Orc the Steadfast, who was like this kind of awkward orc character, he was like really important in part of this book, but I didn't think enough that he was going to get a spin-off, and he did. And he's with this elven hero, Inrel, who I'll learn how to pronounce all their names once the audiobook comes out. But yeah, I adored this book, and I skipped around. Another fun fact about me, I tend to skip around when I read. It's very rare that a book I'll read straight. I'll typically, well, straight, but I'll typically read the last sentence of the book, like the very last sentence. And then depending if it's an author I've read before, not like a brand new author I've never read, but if it's an author I've read before, I'll skip around just to find like favorite scenes. And that's what I did. So I haven't finished this book. I haven't even read, I would say 1% of this book, but I've skipped around to a ton of scenes. And yeah, I know some people are like, that is an insane way to read, but look, it may be insane, but it's working because I'm reading. I already crushed 60 books, but cannot wait to read this one. And we're supposed to get multiple spin-off books, so I'm just in heaven. Never thought that we would be able to see the day that another banger of a book with orcs, elves, and a bit of like Omegaverse would happen, but here we are living our lives in 2025. For this next question, which is question number 4, most anticipated release for the second half of 2025, because I've pre-ordered book 2. I met this author at Black Romance Book Fest, and let me just stop talking because Lore of the Wilds, Analeigh Sbrana, I pre-ordered from Capital Books because if I pre-ordered from there in DC, we got like this overlay and some other fun stuff, and it came signed as well. Look at that holographic effect. It gets me every time. But yeah, Lore of the Wilds is a duology, Black Fae, high fantasy, cottagecore. It has a lot going on for it. I would definitely consider it more of a new adult romantasy than a adult romantasy, but yeah, everything about it, freaking love it. Human protagonist, good. But yeah, you have Lore, Findrel, aka Finn, and then you have Asher. And this series is like, it's just so like, it's just like, I don't know, it's like, it feels like a fall breeze. It feels like a pumpkin spice kiss, even though I don't drink pumpkin spice, but it feels like wrapping up in a sweater. Like, it's just such a cozy, comfy vibe, despite having some really, really high stakes inside the book. And so I'm really excited for Lore of the Tides. I'll just have to like show the cover because I don't have the book yet. It comes out July 7th. The book will come to my doorstep when I'm out of town, I think. So I will do an unboxing with it. Despite saying I will only do like one this year, I have like 4 book hauls recorded and I'll have to book them. But yeah, I can't say much else about the book because it ended on a huge cliffhanger. I was listening to it and I literally went when I got to the end, because I guessed the end, but like I can't say anymore. So anyway, really excited to read Lore of the Tides and see what I rate that for the second half of 2025. Similar to how 3 and 4 paired together, questions 5 and 6 on the prompt paired together. So the first is biggest disappointment and the second is biggest surprise. I'm going to be very quick on the biggest disappointment because I do not want you all flaming me in my comments. But unfortunately, it is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yaros. She is an amazing human being. I love, love, love her. And I thought I would love this book. I love dragons. I love high fantasy. I love kick-ass female protagonists. This is a beautiful addition, by the way, with these like end pages, etc. A war college setting just seemed right up my alley. I got the graphic audio on Libby for free, which is graphic audio is basically I think some readers call it immersive reading, but they basically add sound effects, music. The cast is like 20, 30 plus narrators. It's literally like listening to a movie in your head or like a stage play. Yeah, it's just really, really good. I got through part 1 and I DNF'd the book. It is one of my 6 DNFs this year, and yeah, I just can't say much about it. Like, Xaden was just kind of like he was like every romantasy protagonist that's been out for the last like 10 years. Violet, she like read like a 15-year-old to me. Like, I feel like if this was set more like an urban fantasy, like Vampire Diaries, and was targeted to YA, so like it wasn't supposed to be a new adult read, I think I would have given this a 5 stars, especially because where I left off in the graphic audiobook, stuff started getting really, really good. Secret Powers came out, the dragons finally showed up. But yeah, it was just so childish, if that makes sense. And I was really expecting this to be an adult romantasy. Like, I was expecting this. And I didn't talk about it before, but Lore of the Wilds, that was originally going to be self-published. I got an art copy of it from Hear Our Voices, which is a BIPOC-specific / diverse, underrepresented voices art, kind of like, not subscription, that's not the right word, but like art service. And so they look for diverse readers and also diverse authors and pair us together to hype up books. And then she got Trad Pub. And while new adult is not really a Trad Pub like category, really, age demographic, because it's not a genre, it's just a category that they market books to. They have YA and adult. They don't have new adult. Lore of the Wilds, unless I am like really losing it, was marketed as a new adult work, and then even when it got picked up, they still kind of marketed it as new adult, even though that's technically not a category. This right here, I was expecting adult high fantasy, and I just could not, like how they talked, especially Violet. I was like, girl, I'm supposed to believe you're on a separate universe, separate, like, what was this? I can't even remember the name of the universe. Basgath War College, but that's not the name of the universe. But anyway, this is supposed to be a secondary fantasy, and they were talking like like me. Like, they were talking like a millennial. Like, I was just like, what is going on? So, like, if this was urban fantasy, baby, this would have been a 5 out of 5 stars. But I kept getting pulled out every time a character would open their mouths. Like, I was just like, who would talk like this in wherever the heck this is set in? So, yeah, just, worst thing is I actually have Iron Flame, the second book in the series, that I'm not going to read. Only good thing is I got these editions really, really cheap, and it kind of worked out. What pushed me to read this book finally was that Onyx Storm came out, and they didn't have this matching like copy with the black sprayed edges. It was like dragon edges, and I was like, man, let me read books 1 and 2 like to prepare and like kind of stop myself from buying it. Glad I did that. She's not a bad writer at all. Like, I love the little like sprinkles of history at the beginning of each chapter. Like, for example, in the back it says, a dragon without its rider is a tragedy. A rider without their dragon is dead. Article 1, Section 1, the Dragon Riders Codex. So, like, it had a lot of cool bits. I like that Violet was like a scholarly type, but she was so... she was just aggravated because she was one of those characters I hate that is super, super privileged, but spends the whole book whining about not being a Nepo baby, basically. Because I'm just like, girly pop, if you weren't some special sunshine, you would not be here, okay? You would be dead. The plot armor is plot armoring. And instead of letting me just immerse myself in the fantasy, she just kept yapping and yapping about how I'm working so hard, even though I cheated, but I'm working so hard and cheating is winning and blah, blah, blah. But I will say one thing I will give her credit for. Her childhood friend, who was obviously one of the love interests, and then the dark and mysterious Xaden, her childhood friend, I think it was Dane, he came off as creepy as hell. And I will say, chef's kiss on that, because I always get second male lead, like, syndrome, because the female main, or because the author typically wants us to believe they're such a jerk, they're overprotective, they won't let the reader, me saying that, they won't let the main character, who is the reader stand-in, live. And I'm always just like, no, they're just using common sense logic and acting like a best friend should towards their friend. Okay? And so, but no, like, Dane, he came off as like a weirdo, and like just came off as like almost a little ableist. I don't know. I've actually talked way too long about this book, so I have a lot of feelings about it, but I will be unhauling it at the end of the year. And yeah, biggest disappointment, because I was really looking forward to it. All that said, I will not yap as long about The Drowning Eyes by Emily Foster, and I'll put up the audiobook cover because I read that book on Libby, which is a library app where you can listen to free, because our taxes pay for it, but free to us, on the front end, audiobooks and ebooks. And I think I was honestly just looking for something short. Yeah, I was looking for something short to finish in like a day or two during my walks, because I walked for about an hour each day. I slowed down because I had an allergic attack as summer picked up, and I'm actually going to an allergist tomorrow to like figure out how to manage that so I can start walking again. But yeah, I wanted an audiobook that was 1 to 2 hours long, nothing crazy, and was absolutely blown away. From my knowledge, I went digging. Emily Foster has not published another piece of work. Like, this is her novella, only thing she's published, and I'm just sitting here like, someone go pick this girl up. I need more. The basic premise is these Viking-like characters are in these dragon boats or dragon ships that are going around just decimating parts of this world that is more like a seafaring world. It has like this Caribbean influence. This the main female character is this older woman. Well, it's like two. It's this older black woman. She's a female pirate. She runs this like crew of bandits, crew of weirdos that find family with each other. And she picks up this young girl who I think is like 15-ish in the book, who is like a acolyte, can't remember how to say that word, of like, I'm just going to spoil it because it's introduced so early into the book. I don't feel like it's a spoiler really. I think it's even on the back cover. But in this world, some people can like control weather. Like, they have the power to like create storms and guide them and stuff. And they are forced to remove their eyes and put stones in because their eyes are, I guess, the window to the soul, to power. And so this girl is like a survivor of like this really bad thing that happened. And her quest is to find this like altar that helps them control the winds. Then also, what was it? Yeah, destroy the dragon boats and then go back to get her eyes taken out by who the pirate main character feels is a cult, and what she says is like, you know, her religious devotion, her sect. And yeah, it just surprised the crap out of me. I was not expecting A, to like the book that much, 2, for it to be that insane and pack that much lore into 3 hours, and C, 3, C, honestly, give me an ending that shocked me, because she could have, Emily Foster, the author, could have taken it one way, but she was, in my opinion, very brave in the way she ended that book, because she was like, I'm not going to give you your fantasy of just because you think something is wrong, that it's all going to be fixed just because you say it's wrong. And I know that's very vague, but I want you to go read it. So yeah, The Drowning Eyes by Emily Foster. Oh yeah, it's kind of in the title. It's called The Drowning Eyes, right? But yeah, it was the biggest surprise of the year for me. Did not think I would love it that much. And yeah, I don't even own a copy of it. I rented it on Libby, but I do want to grab one soon. Okay, question 7 is new favorite author, and that is Lyonne Riley. I absolutely adore her. Like, let me get off of Melting the Troll's Heart right now, and show you. I have 5 pages worth of her books from Kobo Plus in my library, and I've either started or read most of them. So yeah, she's definitely my new favorite author. Question 8 is newest fictional crush, and that has to go to Rome from Only for the Week, the Forever Falling series, book 1 that needs book 2 already, and that's by Natasha Bishop. This is between Dr. Janelle Cross and Rome, who is like a video game entrepreneur and like all this like cool stuff. It's about a bunch of black friends / black sister who is the maid of honor to her sister's wedding, going down to Tulum, Mexico, just have a great time for the week before the wedding, hence Only for the Week. And Rome, I cannot say enough about this man. I have literal dreams about this man. I wish this man was real. I almost died listening to the audiobook. I was not prepared for a scene in that audiobook once they got together. Scorching hot. And it was dual narrated, so the male voice was in a man's voice. The woman's voice was in a top tier, the woman's voice. And on top of all of that, oh, this says slow burn is the imprint. Sorry, I just saw that. Absolute lie, absolute false advertising. Hot, fast burn. But on top of that, it was actually a very good story. I love the emotional arc. Rome, oh, I can't say that part. Oh my god, I just want to spoil. But anyway, this is the book boy from the year so far for me. I don't know if anyone can top Rome. If anyone's topping Rome, I might actually have to go to the ER. This book was so good. Oh yeah. And at Black Romance Book Fest, the inaugural one, I did get to see her and she signed my book. So I just feel like an all-star, and I love Rome from Only for the Week. The last question in the set, I think, kind of goes together, which is question 9, newest favorite character. And I have to give that honor, who was also tied as my book boyfriend. So this is why it was so hard, because this video is already going to be decently long, and I'm only talking about one book each question. And that was Lucca from Mistlefoe, A Mead Round Tale. This is Kimberly Lemming. I tried her main series of books. So this is in the series, the Mead Round series, but it's like a side novella in the series. / almost a novelette. It's actually very short. I think it was like an hour-long audiobook. You can see how much I dog-eared this while I was listening to the audiobook. Like, I was obsessed. Also why Lyonne Riley, you can get a Mating a Troll's Heart imprint, I promise you. But yeah, Kimberly Lemming was an author I tried a few years ago, couldn't get into it. And I was just like, you know, cozy fantasy may not be the series for me, or not the series. Cozy fantasy may not be the genre for me, but there ain't no way these black heroines with these hot guys is not the author for me. So I was like, maybe I'm just not in the right place. Like, let me give it a chance again, but something shorter. So this had the audiobook in Kobo Plus because she self-published this. Her actual series got picked up by a big publisher. And so I was like, you know what? It's been some time. She, you know, is a megastar now. Not saying you have to be really popular to be worth reading, because I obviously was reading the indie published version. It was more of like, I'm like, I'm missing something. All these other Black women are raving about this. And so, yeah, in such a short story, Kimberly Lemming packed such a punch. The jokes were hitting. Like, I actually laughed reading this. This was another one I kind of wanted to put on like emotional reaction, like maybe cry or really happy. Spoiling the next question. But like, I wanted to talk about another book. But yeah, or other books. But yeah, it was just so good. Lucca is like a fox demon, so goes back to my Inuyasha white hair anime boy days. Any white hair anime boy, I'm digging it. Ruby was the definition of a strong Black heroine, because she is the daughter of a blacksmith and she carries around a talking sword. There's forced proximity, there's fake dating, there's everything you could think of, outside of like really snowed in, which was a missed opportunity for the author, but only because I wanted this to be 300 pages long. And that's saying a lot for me, who prefers shorter works. I did not want this to end. Absolutely loved it. Lucca is technically also my book boyfriend, but I will say he was my favorite character just because he was so fun, so sensual, and so absolutely dedicated to his girl. So yeah, I was in love. Okay, getting into the feels of everything, the emotions. Question 10 is book that made you cry. And I told you 3 books have made me cry this year, 2 by Nicholas Sansbury Smith. And the third one is The Christmas Catch by Toni Shiloh. I listened to this on Libby, so I don't own a physical copy. I own 2 of her books, but again, don't want to take those out. Yeah, I think the main theme, because it is a Christian romance, just to point that out. So I think this is why it was such a heavy theme in the story. And it's about reconciliation. And it just made me cry to see this family heal from trauma. It stars Jaleel Walker, who is a football star forced into retirement from an injury. He goes to Peachwood Bay, Georgia. So it's a Christmas book set in Georgia, very hallmarky, you know, in that too. So it was so fun watching them do like Christmas things, but it's like, you know, summertime during the book. And it was just so sweet. BB Gordon is a divorced single mother who was Jaleel's childhood crush, childhood best friend. And so it's a best friend, well, ex-best friends to lovers. It's reconciliation. It just made me cry. Like, it literally made me cry. And I was like shocked when I started crying, because I was listening to the audiobook and I was like, and yeah, just Jaleel and his father, BB and Jaleel and their baby girl. It was just so cute. I loved it. And then question 11 was book that made you happy. And that has to be FANGS, jumping in my mood, reader way to a new book in a whole different genre. And that is Billy Balibally. I still don't know how to say her name correctly, but this is a vampire romance. It has 3 books out right now. Who knows when the 4th will come out. I'm in pain until then. I picked this up in Kobo Plus. Oh, my dog's barking. But I picked this book / series up in Kobo Plus. Didn't know what to expect from it. I gave every single book 5 stars. Like, it was banger after banger after banger. Okay, it was so freaking good. And yeah, it was just so amazing. It made me so happy because Ichi and In, like, they were such classic yaoi gold. And by that, I mean, they were hot guys doing hot things, looking hot as hell because they looked like they stepped off a runway. And I loved how poetic it was. Funny enough, it was actually a quote about, I think it was actually in book 2, from the Bible, about the body being the temple, etc. So like, even that kind of had weird overlap. But yeah, it was so poetic. It was like a kind of tweaked Rumi quote in here. Like, Billy is like a scholar, okay, and also can draw like nobody's business and tell a story. So book that made me happy, book that made me cry. Books that make me happy and cry are basically all 60 books that I read this year, but these were the ones that were really standouts to me. Oh, and I know I said I'll only do 1 book per prompt, but book that made you happy, question 11, I felt like needed an honorable mention to The Cat Proposed by Dento Hayane, I believe is the name. And just because we need more cat boys. We need more cat boys. Okay, the book itself was actually very depressing and very melodramatic and very melodic and very, I don't know, cute. Like, it had a lot going on that wasn't happy emotions, but it made me happy because Catboy. So honorable mention here. Okay, we're getting close to the 15th question. Over the years, this tag has changed and transformed, so it doesn't have as many questions depending on which video you're looking at, but mine will have 15. And so question 12 is favorite book to movie adaptation you've seen so far this year. So at first I was not going to answer this. Like, I was going to leave it out because this is like an older version of the tag, and also I didn't have one until, even though it's technically a web comic, I'm going to count it. Plaza Wars, Mercy for None, starring Soji Sub. They called it Mercy for None on Netflix. That, when I tell you, go watch that right now. Go subscribe to Netflix if you must to go watch it. That was a banger. And I could tell, even though the intro kind of had illustrated parts, I could tell that it was based on a webcomic even before I discovered for sure it was, because the pacing was tight, the action was actioning, and it was relentless. Like, it was so good. So please go watch it. I don't know why they photoshopped the hell out of his face right here. Soji Sub is so handsome. Let me try to actually, editing Olivia, put the other poster up here because that one is just not it. But yeah, that was so good. Okay, question 13 is most beautiful book you've brought this year. I am conveniently standing in front of my special edition shelf, which has so many beautiful contenders, but I have to give it to Regina Abel's Prime Mating Agency Omnibus Volume 1 that has books 1 and 2 of her series, and that is I Married a Naga, which is the one I'm going to really show off because you can see the back cover here. You're my soulmate, you were made for me and for this world, baby. And not only these edges, you see the I Married a Naga right here, and then you see I Married a Lizard Man right here. Look at this cover. Oh my goodness. I also know the artist who did this. He's done covers for me. But oh my goodness. Black woman monster romance. I'm telling you, I'm in heaven right now. So this is a sticker I got with it as well. I don't know if you can see with the glare. But every piece of this book is a work of art. Look at the cover. Look at the hollow. Like, I Married a Naga. I Married a Lizard Man. Look at the sides. Look at the back. And I read that one. The other quote is this. The other quote is, "This is our world. This is our journey together. No shame, no guilt, just trust." Look at it. Look at it. Look at the end papers, baby. Look how cute this is. Oh my goodness. Look at the chapter art. Full color chapter art. Get out of here. Like, are we for real right now? See my baby. Oh, the bookmark fell. I'm going to pick it up. But look at this full color chapter art. The bookmark itself is gorgeous and fooled. If I can find the girls. Yep. Look at that. Forgot to show the front pages, so there you go. But Susan, look at her looking like a baddie. Look at the end paper for the book. There's also like a bonus novella in here, I believe, for each book. But don't quote me on that one. Look at this. I think I'm going to spend like 20 minutes just showing you this book if I don't hurry. Ending art. Oh, that one's a spoiler, so I cannot show that one. But yeah, it just has so many pretty boops and bops inside of it. Like, honestly, just a joy to look at. And then finally, it has a reversible dust jacket. And so I love this one more, so that's why I cover it with that. But it has both. So yeah, Prime Mating Agency Omnibus Regina Abel, You Showed Out. I got this at Monster Erotica Book Con, the very first one, the inaugural one, where I also met Lyonne Riley and all these amazing artists and authors. But yeah, the most beautiful book I own and I bought this year. Okay, almost there. So before my phone dies, question 14. What books do you really need to read by the end of the year? So I'm going to put up a little short slash TikTok slash Instagram reel I did where I talked about the top 10 books I wanted to read in 2025. And I actually read a ton of books off that list. And by a ton, I mean I've read 3. So we're going to talk about the other books that I want to read by the end of this year. So you can see the stack right here, and I'm going to put this on my TBR rotating bookshelf in my bedroom, but I'm going to rapid fire through this. First one is A Song of Race and Ruin by Rosanne E. Brown, which is a duet and is an African-inspired high fantasy romance for young adults. Next up is The Wicked and the Willing by Lianyu Tan, and this one is an FFF/sapphic dark vampire romance, historical romance / fantasy. It is twisted. I was listening to the audiobook on Kobo Plus and I cannot wait to get back into it. It is really good. Nocturnal by Clio Evans, which is a dark academia monster romance, and it has it on the cover, so I know I didn't mess that up. A book that I keep going back and forth with, I have it signed by the author. Like, come on now. I'm already kind of spoiling it, but come on now. I need to just get my game up. And that is Trick by Natalia Jaster. I keep trying to finish this book and I keep failing at finishing it. Not because it's not good. It's just because I'm scatterbrained and a mood reader. So I really want to finish this. I have 2 editions of this book, which, much like Trick, I need to be shot and I need to finish the dang book, and that is The Fall That Saved Us by Tamara Jerée. Absolutely stunning version from Rainbow Book Box / Rainbow Book Crate. Rad, Readers After Dark. They have a lot going on, but they're LGBT book subscription, and this is a sapphic paranormal romance for adults. Jumping back to young adult land, because the first book was young adult, the rest of those were adult. We have a book I need to read. I'm so scared to read. Like, I'm actually intimidated by this book for no absolute reason. I think it's because my expectations are like in the stratosphere. They're like in a different exoplanet, and that is my voice cracked saying that. That's how far up in the sky my expectations are. And that is Immortal Dark by Tigest Girma, and this is a Black vampire dark academia young adult romance. It also has this special stenciled edge that says no soul can enter without an invitation. After having the banner year for Black vampires with Sinners coming out, I just hope I absolutely adore this book. If I don't, I will absolutely be crushed. And then finally, book 7 on my top 10 books I want to read in 2025, which are also the books I want to read by the end of this year. Bones of Brass, the Blood Right Trilogy by Emily Skrutskie, book 1. I have this entire series. I got this after the travesty that was, I was recovering from The Last Jedi. I'm a Last Jedi hater, by the way, so if you stand, it's okay. We can agree to disagree, but this is a Last Jedi / Kylo Ren hater channel. If Kylo Ren has no haters, then I'm not doing my job. But I did not like, okay, so to kind of explain if you're not into the Star Wars trenches, when Star Wars got rebooted with the sequel trilogies of the movies, not all the like spin-off shows they did, Disney introduced 2 of the best characters they've done in years, Finn and Poe. Poe being a resistance fighter and Finn being a former slave of the Sith Empire, which are the evil bad guys. And yeah, I actually didn't have like, I didn't ship them like a romantic couple, but after the travesty that was The Last Jedi, followed by the last movie that I can't even remember the name of the trilogy, I became an ardent Finn Poe stan, and Emily Skrutskie delivered with a very, very, very thinly veiled Finn Poe space opera, gay space opera, young adult romance. And yeah, I have been trying to finish the first book / the series for literal years. I got this book when I entered my multi-year slump after a pretty devastating house fire, because I think I mentioned these in these videos whenever they go up. You know, I be posting when I post on here, but I don't talk about what happened. My mother got severely burned. I suffered burns. You can't see them very well, especially in the summer, but I had facial burns, etc. And I still have the scars, like right here. You can see part of it. But yeah, I then entered a multi-year slump, and this was one of the books that got slumped. So I think I also associate this book with that time, which makes it really hard, because I want to not think about that time and think about how much, at the time at least, I loved the book. So let's see if I can finish the trilogy this year, but at least book 1, and see if I really did love the book that much, or maybe I did and I just changed as a person. But at the very least, I don't want to give in to the trauma. Now, that was very, very dark, so let's not end this video dark, and let's talk about the very last prompt. So I don't see people do question 15 a lot anymore, and I actually love it, so I'm going to bring it back. Bring it to my versions of this video that I hope to do for many more years to come. And that is favorite book community member. So that would be Autumn at Fall Between the Pages. I met her at Imaginarium, and it was just so amazing to just make a friend in real life at my age, being such an introvert that I literally film content about books in my massive library versus going outside and touching grass, because it might actually kill me until I get to my allergies. So I am very introverted. So to meet a friend in real life was just super, super amazing. And yeah, I just go subscribe to her. She's all over the bookish spaces. She runs a book club on, Fable? And I believe it's called Flirting with Darkness. And I'll link all this below. But yeah, awesome. I love that I met her. And I did want to end this video with a book, even though this prompt doesn't call for a book, and that is Destiny's Hammer by T.L. Price, that I got signed at Imaginarium, where I met Autumn at Fall Between the Pages. I got this very cool bookmark with the main characters, this adorable sticker of Jackson Hammer and his girl, as well as the dragon that is in the series. And yeah, this is a romantasy. It has dragon riders. It has, I believe, a black heroine and black hero. I was promised spice. So we are planning to buddy read this, but not my dog throwing the toy at the stand. He wants me to get off so bad. But we decided, Autumn and I, that we were gonna buddy read this book. We're not going to keep the schedule we said we're going to keep, because every Sunday since Imaginarium we've been doing something, but we hope to start it soon, and I really do hope to end it by the end of 2025. Time. Okay, so my phone didn't cut off and we're done. So those were the 15 questions on the mid-year book freakout tag, my very first one, and I hope to do it for many years to come here on BookTube. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below an answer to one of the prompts. I would love to know what your favorite book this year was. What's the prettiest book you brought, because I do have a book buying problem. What was a book that made you cry, made you happy? What was a book that, inspired you having a new book boyfriend, book girlfriend, bookish friend, if you will? Who was your favorite character? Heck, just tell me how many books you want to finish this year so we can commiserate together about how much we need to read, if you have a goal in mind. And if you don't have a goal in mind, I just want to know what you're reading right now. With that said, thank you so much for watching this video. Whenever it goes up, hope you're having a wonderful summer. Unless you're on the other side of the globe, and heck, you don't even follow the Georgian calendar, so it's not the middle of the year for you. I don't care. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a great time. I hope you're getting a lot of reading in, and I can't wait to see you next time. Farewell for now. Bye.